Welcome to the Prophecy Club. You know, our objective here is to try to warn you about what is coming. And the reason we want to tell the truth, whether you like us today or not, is because there's going to be a day down the road where people are going to be looking for the truth, and we want them to be using the Prophecy Club as one of the places that they turn. Well, if we have not been telling the truth, then they aren't going to turn there. The Holy Spirit's not going to bring them to us. So we've got to continue to bring the truth to you, and that's my heart. I want to win souls, and I believe His truth shall be thy shield and buckler, meaning we got to stay with the truth. Okay, first of all, a little update. There are now 51,701 sealed indictments. I think that the next 90 days are going to see some really big things. I don't know if these sealed indictments are going to be a public roundup. Word on the street is that some 20,000 of the 50,000 have already been arrested, and we haven't heard anything in the news, and that could continue like that. On the other hand, if you look at what the prophets have said, Terry Bennett, matter of fact, I plan to get to this. I have some more information from additional sources about all of these sealed indictments, and I'm talking about the prophets and what they're saying. What essentially they're saying is there is going to be a massive problem that comes to our federal government where it has to come down to the state level, and this now have 4 different sources that say that. So probably the next 90 days, I don't know if it's going to happen before or after the election. Sometimes I think maybe it'd be better if it was before. Sometimes I think maybe after. I don't know when. But I think the next 90 days are going to prove a lot of changes. I think that we are about to get a global change in our finances, so say the prophets. I think we are about to get a change in our federal government. The next 90 days, brothers and sisters, going to pull some real big changes for us. Now, let's kind of update ourselves on where we are, and we're going to tie this all together here. Let's look at France. Several days ago, I talked about some of these other nations. And our advantage is, yes, we can get the news. And by the way, thank you for sending articles to AskStan@prophecyclub.com. Those articles many times provide information that I can help bring you up to date on the radio. So anyway, yes, if you have information, send it to AskStan@prophecyclub.com. So let's talk about France briefly. Okay, so President Macron and Trump made great friends. That's good. But then Macron comes over and gives a 45-minute talk to our Congress, and he basically says, we need world government. We have to have world government. The only solution to our problems is world government, world government, world government. France is beginning to see the error of their ways of opening the borders, and they've seen all of these terrorist events that are out of control in their nation, and they don't know the solution. Then we look at the UK, the United Kingdom. Well, they've also decided that they're going to have to level the playing field in their trade policy with Trump too. But they say that they will trade with America. As a matter of fact, they are one of the nations that we actually don't have a negative trade balance like we do with most of the rest of them. We actually have a positive trade balance with the United Kingdom, so that's good. Now let's look at Mexico. Mexico and the U.S. kissed and made up and have agreed to trade again, and they are happy and we are happy. Mexico and the United States are both happy. That is a miracle. Both sides say they didn't think that they were going to be able to do this. And, of course, Trump is now threatening that if Canada doesn't come along, then, and if the Congress starts giving him pressure, he'll just cancel NAFTA altogether. In other words, he's basically saying it's going to be my way or the highway. They say that it will be good for Mexico, and this will be good for America. No one thought it was possible. Yet again, Trump has triumphed. So we have an agreement with Mexico. Today, reportedly, Canada is supposed to be sitting down with America to try to see if they can work out the problems. Canada is now feeling much more pressure to negotiate. Canada says it won't bow to U.S. pressure. It won't sign an agreement. That is not good for Canada. Well, of course, if any agreement is going to be good for Canada. The only agreement that would not be good for Canada is not sign one, because you don't want to have, well, let's put it this way. I don't care what you're selling. Let's say you're selling golf carts. If you're selling golf carts, you do not want to lose your best customer. Well, America is Canada's best customer. America is Mexico's best customer. America is the best customer of the world. So now that Mexico has a trade agreement, it puts a lot more pressure on Canada to work out a similar agreement, which Trump says is going to be a good agreement. But you also recall that the Canadian news firm was supposed to have this off-the-record conversation with Trump, but of course they lied to him. And Trump said, well, basically it's going to be my way or the highway. and they didn't keep it secret. They published it. And Trump says, all right, well, fine. I mean, at least they know how I feel, and this is the way it's going to be. So Trump has stated in several rallies that the U.S. holds all the cards when it comes to trading. And we do. He's right. The trade GDP estimates in trillions of dollars are thus: Canada, 1.8, France, 2.9, Germany, 4.2, Italy, 2.2, United Kingdom, 2.9, Japan, 5.2. Total, this is total of the other 6 NATO nations, 19.2. The United States, 20.4. In other words, our gross domestic product, that's the amount of goods and services that we purchase, is more than the other 6 NATO nations combined. So, yeah, we have all the purchasing power. The U.S. can dictate the trade deal simply because we got the dollars. The U.S. has all the money to buy their products. The U.S. really is the greatest nation on the planet, and Canada has no choice but to do it Trump's way. And like he said, if they don't want to come on board, then he'll just cancel NAFTA, and Canada will be out of it. And, you know, America doesn't need Canada. Sure, it will hurt some companies, but we don't need Canada. We have enough other people. We're the guys that buy. Yes, we do some selling, but we're mostly the ones that buy. So Canada, yeah, don't worry. Canada will come around, just like China will come around. My worries are not Mexico and Canada at this point. Again, let's refresh our memory. The fall of America starts with an internal revolution started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 other countries will attack and defeat America in one day. I personally believe that we have moved that off. It may have been that it was only a year or 2. It may be that if Hillary Clinton had been elected, that we would be in martial law, that the internal revolution, people fighting against the government, would be going on right now. And it may be that Russia, Mexico, Cuba, Nicaragua, all those other nations might be warming up their missiles, even as we speak today. But as Sandhu Sadhar Salvaraj was told, God has given us a respite, which is a brief break from something very uncomfortable. We've been given some more time, brothers and sisters. More time, which I think we have to be doing fasting and praying, which is why you ought to be a part of the Fast Track prayer team. But these 51,701 sealed indictments, oh my goodness. Okay, so let me paint a picture of what I'd like to see and what is more realistic. What I'd like to see is that the other 30,000 of those sealed indictments get rounded up pretty quick. I would like to see that people in high places, DOJ, FBI, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and people like that, wind up getting what they so richly deserve: righteousness, justice, And if that could happen before the election, I don't know if that'd be good or not, but I think that a whole lot of them would. I mean, it could be good. It could be very bad. But I'll tell you what I think is coming in the election. They're talking about a blue wave. They're talking about how the Democrats are going to just have a clean sweep. I don't think so. Actually, I think what we're about to see is a red wave. I think we're about to see the greatest Republican victory in the midterms in U.S. history. I think we're about to see Democrats kicked out wholesale. Now, to everything, there's a good side and a bad side. Well, a good side of that is, we can start getting some things passed in Congress that need to get passed. All of a sudden, we can start moving forward in a lot of good ways. But here's what bothers me about that. What bothers me is that could put us in a position for Trump to twist the arm of Israel into giving the Palestinians a state. That's the thing that will kill America. It also bothers me because the Republicans could very well say, well, we've rounded up the bad guys, and we have done wonderful things with trading. Our economy is going great. That we have the lowest unemployment in U.S. history, and we think it's time for all you, and this is probably they won't word it exactly like this, but this is essentially what they're trying to say. All you lazy bums that are just receiving food stamps and unemployment and don't want to go out and get a job, we have lots more jobs than we have people working, and we aren't going to open up the borders. So that means you lazy people on, again, they won't say it that way, but you get what I'm saying, okay? But you lazy bums on welfare, you're going to have to go to work. Okay, well, that's what, what was his name? Terry Bennett said. He said, when the checks from the government stop, that's when the trouble will ensue. So I look at Trump, okay? He goes out, he does a rally. He has 15, 20,000 places packed where he does a rally. And they love this guy. I don't see those kind of rallies going on from the Democratic side. The Democrats are in disarray. What has happened is there's a broad separation between the right and the left. With Trump, the right has moved further to the right, further to the directions of what the Christians like. And the Democrats have made a big mistake. They saw this Ocasio-Cortez lady up in New York or New Jersey up there. They saw that she won because she was for free health care and abolish ICE and things. So all of the Democrats have moved further left. That's a mistake. What they should have done is moved further right, further. See, because if you have, let's say someone takes your coffee, and if they put a big heaping teaspoonful of arsenic in your coffee and stir it up, you don't even have to put it up to your lips. You can see something's been put in your coffee. It's too much. You can smell it. I don't know, but I think they say that arsenic smells like apricots, tastes like apricots. I'm not an expert in that. But the point I'm trying to say is you can see that it's not right. Something's wrong. See, that's what the Democrats have done. They've gone too far left. Now, if someone just takes a very slight pinch, just a pinch of arsenic and puts it in your coffee. See, sometimes a little arsenic that wouldn't be detected would be deadly. But a whole lot of arsenic, no, I'm not going to go for that. And so that's what the Democrats are doing. They've moved too far to the left and too much socialism, too much communism, and most Americans are not going to go for that. So I think in the next elections, we're going to see Democrats kicked out big time all across the nation. I don't think it's just the Congress. I don't think it's just the House and the Senate. I think it'll be governorships and things like that. The midterms are going to give the Republicans control. Now, with the Republicans in control, they got to do it right. And that's my concern. It may very well be that when the Republicans are in control, they might make a mistake. They might start cutting off the welfare. And Trump has already announced that he wants to cut off the welfare. He wants to get that reform. And to a certain degree, I agree with that. I mean, I think that people are much, much happier when they have a job and they're in control of their life rather than just, look, nobody likes a free handout. We like to make our own way. And that's the reason every minister, I'll just tell you, every minister, the thing that they hate to do is ask for money. They hate it. Nobody likes a handout. We want to know that we have value. And that's the reason ministers prefer to think that they have value and that the people listening to them have a good heart and that they will give without having to say, hey, it's summertime and we need your support. Okay? That's what they want. They want people to just have a good heart and support them. Well, that's also true in the world of welfare. We want people to want to have a job. However, and I'm full in agreement. I mean, as a pastor, I have had people come to my church in the past, and, you know, there's some people out there, they just can't hold a job. I remember there was a fellow in the Topeka church, and he kept coming to me, we kept talking. I said, you know, counseling him. Well, you need to get a job, though. You need to get a job. Finally, he just said, Pastor, you don't understand. He said, I get a job. I get a job at McDonald's or something like that. He said, but about 3 days later, they tie the can to me. He said, I just make too many mistakes. He said, I just can't hold the thought in my brain long enough. I mean, he was into drugs. His teeth are falling out. I mean, he's ruined his life. Drugs ruined his life. He said, I just can't hold a job. Yes, I understand. There are some people that just can't hold a job. They need disability. And I believe that America is blessed. I believe that the church is blessed for giving them that help. I mean, Jesus talked about that pretty strictly and pretty strongly, that we need to help the poor. I'm in favor of helping the poor. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a little story. So I pulled up to the stoplight. Cars in front of me, cars behind me, and all of a sudden I saw this guy out of the left peripheral vision walking beside my car. And he was about 6, 8, 10 feet away, and he walked up to the stoplight and stopped and turned and faced the traffic. He was holding a little piece of cardboard. He opened up the cardboard, and it said, hungry. Help if you can. God bless. Okay. When something like that happens and you're sitting at a long light and you can't get through that light, I mean, all kinds of thoughts come through. Okay, you know, do we get angry that this guy is making us feel bad? Do we feel for the guy? I mean, there's a lot of different attitudes that we'd have. And so I thought, Lord, if this is a test, I'm going to pass it. If this is an angel sitting out there, holding the sign, and if the Lord is sitting there watching, let's see what Stan does. Let's see if Stan has a heart to give or a hard heart. Let's check Stan's heart. So when I saw him open up that sign, I rolled the window down and I handed him a couple of bills and drove. By that time, the light turned green. It was almost like it was a test for me. And I thought, well, if it's a test for me, brothers and sisters, I'm going to be successful. I've got to try to pass that test. And I'd much rather give and, okay, fine, maybe the guy should get a job. But again, I have met people that want to have a job and just can't. So I'm fully in support of disability and welfare and food stamps. Here it is, for those that must have it. And I know a lot of people that must have it, and I'm glad it is there for them. On the other hand, I'm sure that there are people out there that are taking advantage of the system. And I'd much rather have the system there and being taken advantage of than not. But we Republicans, if the Republicans do have a big red wave and sweep out the Democrats, and now they're in control to where they can stop the welfare reform, seeing if you can get the people off of the welfare rolls that really shouldn't be there, that really should have a job, that are just taking advantage of the system, I'm all in favor of trying to get them off. I'm all in favor of the people that can work should work. A lot of them, they've never had a job. They just don't understand the joys and the thrill of making your own way, of having your own job and getting your own money and being able to spend your own money. Because those people that are taking advantage of the system in their heart of heart, in their spirit, it's really the spirit of larceny. They're really trying to get something for nothing. Some people go through life pushing their way around, taking advantage of people, lying, stealing, cheating, and that's their way of life. And some of them are taking advantage of the welfare rolls. I understand that. But again, I still think we need the welfare. There is always going to be people there that need it. But on the other hand, if the Republicans get in, they better not turn off all of the welfare. That's my concern. They turn off all the welfare. The people start protesting. You remember what Shane Warren was told? We want our entitlements. We want our entitlements. We're entitled to these food stamps. We're entitled to welfare. We're entitled to all of this, you see. Well, that's a communism attitude. That's larceny in their heart. They're basically trying to steal from other people. Communism is the simple heart of the matter. Yes, some of them need it, but yes, some of them are taking advantage of it. And I'm all in favor of seeing if we can reform the system, but we have to do it kindly and gently with love. We cannot sit up there and just say, we're turning off all welfare. We're turning off all disability. Oh, my goodness, what a mess we would have. I will also say that the real entity in the world that should be taking care of people that are sick should not be the welfare of the government. It should be the church. But you see, they left the church. They don't want to go to church. The way it's supposed to work is everybody in society is supposed to be going to church. And then the church sees when they need help, and to some degree, they take over a covered dish. Sometimes they go and pray with them. Sometimes they go over and chew them out. But the church is in a better position to help a person medically, mentally, spiritually, much better position than a godless government. And that's what we have right now, a godless government. A government that thinks that there should be a separation of church and state. So consequently, there's many things in our nation that are messed up. So that's my concern. I'm concerned these 51,701 sealed indictments might start getting rounded up over the next 90 days. And that I'm also concerned that the Republicans get in and do some good things. I think they'll do some good things, but my concern is that they'll twist the arm of Israel, force Israel to give the Palestinians a state, then God will split America. That's that meteor that hits near Mona Island. And the vision that Efrain Rodriguez saw is that the large meteor hit the Mona Island just west of Puerto Rico, causing a tsunami 1,000 foot high at Puerto Rico, and then sending up the eastern seaboard 200 to 400 foot high tsunamis going inland from 20 to 100 miles. And where it hits is an earthquake fault running up the Mississippi River all the way to the Great Lakes, splitting America from the Great Lakes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. Now, as I've said on here many times, the Bible says in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. So I did some research. Because of this, Efrain Rodriguez guy is the only one saying this, go back to sleep. You don't have to listen. But if you got 2 people saying the same thing, I mean, let's say, for example, how many people have seen a large meteor hit? Okay, well, fine, meteors hit all over. But to fulfill this prophecy, it has to be a large meteor hit near Puerto Rico. Not out in the Atlantic, not out in the Pacific someplace. It's got to be near Puerto Rico. Well, I found 6 people that saw a large meteor hit near Puerto Rico. 4 people saw a tsunami hit the eastern seaboard of the United States. 6 people saw America split into 2 pieces. 3 people saw large chunks of California fall into the ocean, and 9 people saw that it came because America split Israel. So, brothers and sisters, this is real important. I think that we'll see the Republicans have a red wave. I mean, the biggest red wave in American history. And by the way, I also said, and this is no thus saith the Lord, but I saw it. I saw what was happening. And I said, I think Trump is going to be elected by the biggest landslide in American history. And he was. Now I'm saying I think that there's going to be a big Republican wave, sweep out the Democrats. That there's about to be 50,000, the other 30,000, the sealed indictments, going to be served. Now, some of those are arrest warrants. We don't know exactly, but there's about to be a sweeping out of bad people in high places. That's for sure. I got 4 different prophets that have said that. Let me say it again. A bad sweeping out, or a good sweeping out, depends on how you look at it, but sweeping out of bad people in high places. FBI, DOJ, corporate people, banking people, international bankers. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's the whole new financial system that the prophets are saying that they're in the process of setting up because the other financial system has become so corrupt. So in the next 90 days, I think we'll see the Democrats be swept out. Probably the other 30,000 sealed indictments are probably going to be served up. We may very well see a Palestinian state formed in the next 90 days, probably for sure by the end of next year. And I just pray that Donald Trump is not making making Israel to do this. And of course, we got to watch them cutting off welfare. They do that, and all of a sudden, what I'm saying is, to summarize the whole broadcast, everything's going good right now in America. Good economy, a lot of things real good, and I'm happy for that. But is it going to continue? I see a lot of things that could upset the apple cart. I pray it goes well, and that's what I ask our fast track team to do also, is pray that it goes well. Speaking of going well, I don't have the exact numbers. They're working on them right now. I know we're real close to hitting the $26,850 goal for Bree Keaton, but something happened I wasn't counting on. Our mailbox went flat, brothers and sisters. So let me remind you, Prophecy Club needs your help too. I mean, we got to keep the Pygmy outreach going, but we got to keep Prophecy Club going too. So if you can help us, either the Pygmies or Prophecy Club, God will bless you. God will bless you. Matter of fact, Lord, bless them powerfully. Hear their prayers in Jesus' name. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your gifts of support. God bless. Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. I really want you to get these 7 DVDs. Top Soviet War Plans for America, Russian Defector Warns America, I Saw Subs Attack America, Russian Bear Awakes, Babylonians Are Coming, Russia's Secret Weapon, Storm Judgment and Revival, and the First 34 Orders. Also, get Jeff Nyquist's book, Origins of the Fourth World War, free, valued at $230 for a gift of $50. But you can call 785-266-1112 and get a code and go to watchprophecyclub.com, and you can watch all 7 of them for the next 90 days for a gift of just $20. 785-266-1112. 785-266-1112. Watch all 7 of them for 90 days, gift of $20. Go visit watchprophecyclub.com, where you can watch over 160 Prophecy Club titles for an introductory monthly recurring subscription of just $20 a month, or a yearly subscription for $200. The yearly $200 subscription is the best deal because it locks in your rate against increases in monthly subscriptions. That's watchprophecyclub.com. You'll love the format. It's easy to watch, and the quality is great. Watchprophecyclub.com. Watchprophecyclub.com. Go check it out today.